Hi everyone, welcome to this new episode of the India Insurtech podcast. Today we're hosting Ganesh, who is the founder and CEO of ProRisk Group. Welcome to the podcast, Ganesh.
Hey, thanks, Rasha. Good evening, and everyone, and thanks for the opportunity.
Perfect, great to have you here. We'd love to start off by getting to know you a little bit and then moving into some of the questions that I have.
Okay, I'm a graduate in chemistry and a chartered accountant. First unique combination, you can say. And I was in the insurance industry. Mainly, my main forte is life insurance, so I work in other areas. So I've been with the life insurance company as a founder member for about 17 years. Then about 8.5 years back, boot chad gaya and said, okay, let's start something on our own. And that's how my entrepreneurial journey has started. The last 8 years, I set up around 5 companies in my group, ProRisk Group, basically, into consulting, into KPO, into underwriting and claims audits, where we actually have expertise and no competition, you can say, because it's really on the earth, on the field underwriting and claims assessment type. Then an Insurtech arm where we do Insurtech products, etc. And of course, we have started our own LLM-based underwriting and claims also. And that apart, we have our own underwriting and claims and risk and reinsurance training academy.
That's a lot of good stuff that you're doing, Ganesh. You were talking about underwriting and strengthening underwriting and claims, along with efficient risk management that, of course, do in your companies. From your leadership journey, we'd love to understand what gaps you see in, traditional underwriting and claim processing, so as to build, maybe a sharper risk intelligence solution.
So this is something which people do love and hate me for. So because this is my Gyan topic, I can say. I would like to respond to you in these two parts. Like when we talk about traditional underwriting and the gap, let me put it in two parts. One is the philosophy, the strategy part of it. Okay. And the second is the operational part. So when we talk about the philosophy and strategy part, okay, that is the traditional underwriting and claims process. Um, that traditionally, and even today, technically, I believe that we are still in a traditional world today. We're not changed much, though the tools are being used. As a philosophy and strategy, the industry is purely working on experience, personal intelligence, and skill sets. Okay, and the biggest factor is the gut feel. So we work on these three parameters. Ki mere paas ye, I understand this is a gap I can see, reading between the lines of what we say. And the basis on which we are working on this is actually the problematic area, you can say. That is the fragmented data. Okay. Then the outdated systems are there. These systems are not talking to each other. Of course, now we have created the middlewares, the APIs are there, but we still have a long way to go. Okay. And older underwriting and claims systems were actually designed, to be fair, for a risk which was existing at that point of time. Okay, they were probably fewer. And I will not say they were not complex, but they were lesser complex and maybe more complex relatives at that point of time. So the systems which are designed are not ready to manage any of the current situations. That's the biggest gap I see. So we are still, on the strategically, as I said, we are still working on rule-based underwriting. Okay. So even if we say that हमारा dynamic है, static नहीं है, rules are changed, STP rules are changed, but still our underwriting logic, the entire manual, underwriting manual, when you see, it's rule based. There is no real dynamism. There's no agility. We are a very reactive industry. Okay. Where we are designed to settle claims faster. Last couple of years or maybe a decade or so, our entire horses of the claims are running towards settlement. कि मैंने आपसे पहले settle किया, आपसे ज़्यादा settle किया. That's where we are running towards. And there is not much of a value for deeper analytical thinking, you can say, on the claims management piece, or the how do we have a preventive process for future losses. We are just in a rat race. And unfortunately, I would like to say our regulator IRDA 2 has been fostering this rat race by publishing 98%, 99%, 99.9% claim settlement ratios. Okay, I'm not going into the TAT part of it. I am not saying TAT is not important, customer is important, but can we settle claims in 7 seconds? Okay, so I do not know how right or wrong that rat race is, but yes, that has not done any great for the country. And the second aspect, as I said, the operationality part. On the operational front, traditional underwriting and claims processes both suffer a lot, mainly from the manual siloed operations, as you can say, which limit the accurate risk assessment and prediction. Okay. So underwriters are actually switching between multiple tools. And in today's world, where a lot of automation has happened on the underwriting side, okay, they are actually struggling more between various tools. The number of activities which were there for underwriters are actually more than 10 times increased than the past. Okay, so they are switching tools, they're switching data collections, switching risk evaluation processes, and in the meanwhile, pricing kahin pe to hai. All this is leading to oversights and inconsistent assessments. That's my clear assessment of this because we also do audits and we can clearly see this. And on the claims part, claims is far way behind on the technology front. Okay, more on the life insurance side, I can say. Motor is much better, health is okay. But overall, claims processing involves laborious manual reviews, a lot of paper forms, and non-standard processes. So the real-time data is actually missing in both. So ultimately, resulting in weeks-long delays and errors. So
Got
as I
it.
said, sorry, it's my gyan area of this space.
No, that's interesting. And as we're moving towards penetration, I want to understand on the predictive analytics part of it, and using alternative data, and now with the use of AI, especially for segments like health and SME, would love to know your thoughts on this as well.
Okay. Though health and SME is not my direct area, but of course we do work on the SME's processes front. And health, we do certain processes and activities, including AI LLM based assessment we already created for health claims, where we can actually assess a health claim in 2.5 minutes. Okay. But having said that, by 2047, when we say underwriting will evolve from the current process to the future process in a very different way. Okay. Today, when we talk technologies, Prashant, what's happening is we are talking technologies, we are talking AI, ML. हम लोग शायद 10 साल से बात कर रहे हैं AI. Okay, then there also used to be some other words. Robotics used to be there. Okay, and the claim settlement processes. But then, आज भी, while the technology is in, the strategy of underwriting is still eligibility-based decisions.
Hmm.
हम आज भी underwriting eligibility-based कर रहे हैं, whether it's life or health. Okay, motor is a different ballgame. SMEs, okay, SMEs do not have papers enough, obviously. So they have challenges even on the banking front. And but then everywhere you see the rule decision, when you pick up a manual, process manual, you will find an eligibility-based decision. And this has to change, and this will change. When we move towards 2047, we have got good 21 years, 22 years for that. It has to be driven towards probability-driven pricing. Okay.
Hmm.
So decisions are no longer going to be, underwriting is no longer going to be eligibility driven. It has to be probability driven. So today, if an underwriter asks the question, okay, in any insurance company, does this meet the criteria? It has to change. And the future, what I see, an underwriter will be asking a question, hey, what is the probability distribution across different scenarios? ये आज कोई नहीं बोल रहा है. While on
Hmm.
the motor insurance part, the underwriting and pricing and claims have joined hands together. They are working together, unlike the other areas. But still, the probability distribution across scenarios is not clear even in those domains. Okay.
Hmm.
Coming specifically to your question on the health and SME segments. So currently in these segments, again, they are eligibility based pricing. Risk estimations are there, risk eliminations are there. Profitability analysis is surely there. And wearables and IoT based health records have really taken shape. They are surely marked the beginning of the next phase, I can say, in health insurance. So I won't say it's not in place, it's in place. But having said that, I still say that it has to move towards what it needs to achieve a cap when we say better predictive modeling. Okay. With biometrics, telemedicine, integrations, not just the biometrics and telemedicine being taken apart. Integrations of these two aspects playing a bigger role. Then chronic disease trajectories. Okay. Like just yesterday, I was talking to my brother and they had just approached an insurance company and immediately, oh, आपकी भाभी डायबिटीज की इंसुलिन ले रही है हमारा पूरा क्राइटेरिया चेंज हो जाएगा नाउ वी हैव टू गो बैक and rework the entire pricing. So
Hmm.
all those things have to change. So diabetes, so what छोटी बात है technically? We are talking about 2047 when chronic diseases will have a different trajectory. Hospital inflation forecast. Okay. When I say hospital, that's for medical, but motor में भी आता है ये. And even in the general insurance, profitability may be document manipulations, inflations will come into picture, window dressing will come into picture. So inflation forecasting, there is a gap. We still have to work towards it. On the this is more of the risk front. On the business front, the GST patterns are just taking shape now. Yeah, we are collecting the GST-based APIs, कुछ चालू है, but the patterns are not yet built. So GST patterns के basis पे a lot of things will change, and that will be the game changer for the SMEs. Then sector cycles and seasonalities, we are not yet done a modeling on that. Okay, that will play a bigger role. And again, MSMEs in different sectors have their own cycles, have their own seasonalities. That is going to be a game changer. And the biggest problem for an SME is cash flow. So the way you have a credit score, a civil or an Experian or whatever score, one nowadays you have got the Paytm PayU scores also. Okay, the income estimators. But we do not have a cash flow volatility risk score or a cash flow volatility credit score. Okay, the positive and the negative part of it. So this is going to be there as a play and the important part. To say it in simple terms, the shift from eligibility checks to proactive prevention will be the real game changer. Of course, when we talk about 2047, it's a chicken and egg, you know. Like in my book, I have written that around 70 years of insurance, we had done everything from LIC or the New India days to the latest insurance company, which is purely tech driven. What has happened? The cycles have changed so significantly. Okay. Everybody played their role. Like LIC played its own role. The public sector, general insurance companies played their own roles for over 40, 50 years. Last 25 years, the private sector has invested crores in best of technologies, best of foreign partners, new products, everything. But we are still at that 3.54% penetration ratio. So, जो 70 साल में नहीं हुआ, how is it suddenly going to happen in 22 years? Whatever we had done, if we continue doing with add-ons, nothing is going to change. It's not going to be an incremental game change anymore. It has to be completely distorted and irrational way of moving towards it. So when we talk about that, it will be chicken and egg story. So whatever strategies you're starting today, leading to larger penetrations, boosting higher penetrations in the undeserved areas will lead to the profitability part. And as you know, only the large numbers are going to give you the technology benefits. So जब तक हम ये नहीं करेंगे, because it will be so prohibitive. So we have to move towards higher penetration, and once penetration comes, the profits are going to come. So that's going to be the most interesting thing to see, and not easy, to be honest. And of course, the digital public infrastructure is a main mantra according to me today, and it's taking good shape. AI will play a greater role once this data is available. I don't mean just data digital public infrastructure. I mean the data in total. So all fingers are crossed on this with expectations that more structured, more integrated, and more available health records, financial records will come into play. Then the AI can be a game changer. आज की तारीख में AI is running on limited data, and we are not sure what it's doing is right or wrong.
Yeah,
It's doing
yeah.
operational efficiency. AI is only helping in operational efficiency. Even my own LLM, as I said that we can work a claims assessment which takes 6 hours. We have brought it down to 3.5, 4 minutes. And
Yeah.
underwriting of 25 minutes has come down to 2.5 minutes. But operational efficiency, we are not able to bring in the larger game into it.
Right. Okay. Now, I also want to touch upon one topic apart from underwriting that I've been thinking about, which is claims leakage, which is another challenge, right? Of course, you do the underwriting, it's rule-based. So what you're saying is it has to move to profitability based. But at the moment, how do you see the claims leakage that's a challenge right now for insurers in the profitability side? And what structural corrections do you think are necessary?
This is a very sensitive area uh, because we are talking about 8,000 to 10,000 crore frauds annually. So I don't know whether we should use the word leakage for this. And
Fair.
and the best part is this number has just been increasing. I started my claims department way back in 2001 when I started the insurance journey. हम तभी से देख रहे हैं frauds and frauds, cartels, scams, the various seminars. As a president of the Underwriting Association of India, Claims Association of India, we have been doing a lot on this. But Are we able to really curb it? Yeah, we have gotten the awareness. We have gotten 80, 100, 150 negative locations in place as an industry. We've done a lot. But is it sufficient? So that's one big thing. Because even today, if as an accountant, if I were to look at it, 5 to 15% of our total claims is the claims leakage. As I said, now this 5 to 15% leakage nahi hota yaar for an accountant. It's in terms of materiality, it's a big number. So
Yeah.
8,000 to 10,000 crores annually. And it's because of frauds, wastages, and abuses, that what we call as the FWA in the risk management terms. And of course, operational errors and risk recoveries. So from my personal experience of handling underwriting and claims at the ground level during my earlier days and last 8.5, 9 years, as pro risk, when we deal with various insurance companies, okay, more on the life side, few of the health, both on live underwriting as well as claims and the audit part of it. If I were to share my views, I can say that claims leakage persists in three areas mainly. Okay, I'm not going to a deeper level. One is organized abuse patterns. Okay, as I said, cartels जो हम लोग 2004 से बात कर रहे हैं. 2004 we first identified the biggest cartel somewhere near Gujarat. Okay, the fraud networks take advantage when insurers work in isolation.
Hmm.
Okay, because they know you're working up 25 life insurance companies or 50 general insurance companies. We take pride as risk managers, risk heads, कि okay, we have got our own association. हम साल में 2 बार मिल रहे हैं and हमने सब data share कर दिया and we have done everything right. Okay, we are jointly working towards it. Are we really jointly working towards it? Sorry, not in real sense. Okay, we may be sharing data, we may be sharing examples of frauds, etc. But the fraud networks are taking advantage of our isolated way of working. So what seems like a random claims in one company or set of claims is actually an organized abuse happening across several insurers. In fact, in our ProRisk Academy, uh, we give some live examples of cartels, claims, etc. जो पकड़े गए. And over there, the best of senior members from LICs or regulators, etc., when I had given them training, when I showed the presentation, people give answers. And at the end of the presentation, I'm able to prove them कि boss, it's an eye opener because आपको जो लग रहा था कि यूपी में कोई मोटर एक्सीडेंट क्लेम का रैकेट चल रहा है and 4 general insurance companies are hit. No, there are 12 general insurance companies hit and around 15 life insurance companies hit. And life and general are not talking to each other. You feel
Hmm.
you're in a different domain. But motor accident वही है. It's not the car. It's a man below the car. Man below the car is in health. Man below the car is in life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Accident.
Yeah. So that's a organized abuse patterns, as I said. Now, second part is linked to it. Our inability to detect frauds and scams beforehand. अभी हम इंश्योरेंस ने क्या कर दिया लिस्ट बना दिया कि okay, there are 75, 80, 100, 140, 160 negative locations. Okay, these are the cartels. We identified some beautiful names also कि oh, these names are appearing commonly everywhere. And हमको पता है ये लोकेशन में फ्रॉड हो रहा है. But now when a business happens, can you say if you put it on an India map, पूरा इंडिया मैप लाल बत्ती में जलेगी. It's saying that we cannot do business anywhere because every state has a problem. Now, when this happens, you still have to do business in those areas. And those cartel guys are smart enough to move the pin code by just 20 kilometers, period. And the fraud continues. And despite our knowledge, despite of our seminars talking to each other, are we able to get these to detect? No. So we always detect it as a post facto situation during our investigation, sometimes during court cases, industry talks, during seminars, etc. वो हमने अब तक पकड़ नहीं पाए हैं. And that's mainly because of data disintegration. Okay.
Hmm.
Expenditure, last one I can say is expenditure inflation blind spots. Okay. Life में तो उतना नहीं है ये, but on the health, motor and the financial records part for the SMEs and all, this is a major gain. Have we been able to crack that piece? Probably no. So
Hmm.
as I said, I put it into these three buckets. And structural fix, uh, easy to say, to be honest, not that insurers are not right, but we'll have to work towards it. And data and the platform is going to play a bigger role. So when we talk about frauds and abuses, okay, what will be the time? What is the fix? It's a AI prevention agents are required. Okay, data interoperability is required. That's why I say data interoperability jab tak hoga nahi, we are not able to do it. AI prevention agents will be required who can tell us not based on our gut feel or our pin code identification. It has to tell ki boss, ये pattern है यहाँ पे, this is a problematic one. Okay. Operational areas where we get the duplicates or the name changes or Haryana does not have a surname, we are unable to catch. So automated workflows and analytics. So if every company, let's say the top 5 insurance companies have the best of analytics, and they say हमने करोड़ों खर्चा करके बना दिया है, what is it going to catch? Only the problems in your system, but the problems are arising from outside. So unless we have a mapping at the industry level, at a country level, it's not going to help whatever expenditure the few insurers spend it within house. Then the predictive flagging integrated systems, and somewhere the indemnity part of it is required. The vision technology, the benchmarking, and over here it's going to be joint working. So we're all waiting for IIA to come up and say, "Ki boss, आप एक joint working group बनाओ." Maybe that's the biggest challenge. So fix is still structural, I will say, but is it practical as of now? Honestly, the answer is no. For this, steps required are real big at a CEO level of all the companies and the regulator, and maybe the legal system of the country.
Understood. All right. I think this has been really amazing, Ganesh, to have spoken with you. Lots of good insights for all of us listeners to think about and ponder on. But again, appreciate the time you've spent with us, and we wish you the best from India and Insurtech Association.
Hey, thanks, Prashant, and thanks, India Insurtech. So it's been a pleasure being with you all.